Once again, more good times with the final report. Oh, I'm sure all you love it as much as I do, but unfortunately, it's what I'm trying to get through now. And we'll get set up. All right. All right. Well, at least I can hear myself. All right. So this is where we left off. Philip Torres, baggage handler, interviewed at the same time as another dude. I can't remember which one that was. Good times. If I could do them all at once, and I could remember all of them were interviewed. Anyways, October 3rd, approximately 3:18, just like the other one. DeAngelis and Downey conducted an audio recorded interview with Phil Torres inside the Mandalay Bay. Also present for the interview was MGM attorney Ashley Eddy. Below is a summary of the interview. Ashley Eddy, I don't know why they blanked that. I believe that's the name they have blanked out in all the reports, which is weird because they blanked them out on there, but they don't blank them out here. They weren't, I don't know, whatever. Redacted. Oh, September 26th. Torres was working and came in contact with Paddock while helping with the luggage cart. Torres could not remember in detail what baggage was on the cart, but he thought there were duffel bags. I didn't remember. All right. After loading the cart, Paddock requested to be taken to his room with the luggage. The normal protocols, a guest would be given a ticket, and upon it, on me already. Oh, shit. All right. I think I'm back. And make sure. The luggage. The normal protocols. Let's see if I'm back. All right. Yeah, it looks like I'm back. And make sure. Echoes. So, anyway. Let's see. Doesn't remember what luggage on the cart. Don't care. You can remember that or not. After loading it, and I don't expect him to. After loading car, Paddock requests to be taken to his room with his luggage. Normal protocol is a guest will be given a ticket, and upon getting to their room, the guest will call and have the luggage delivered. When Paddock requests to go with his luggage, Torres stated he does this for guests to expedite them, and it's not unusual. Yeah. He didn't say how long he worked here. Like the last few dudes. All right. So, anyway, no resumes here. Torres stated he does this for guests to expedite them. It's not unusual. While walking to the service elevator with the luggage cart, Torres had casual conversation with Paddock. Paddock stated he has family coming to town, and some of the luggage belonged to them. Of course, doesn't remember anything about the luggage, but whatever. Torres said the conversation was carefree, and Paddock was very pleasant. Yeah, not much of an introvert, huh? Upon reaching the service elevator, Torres said Gerard Colleen took over. Torres did not see Paddock the rest of his shift. Was Colleen the one who had the same? I don't know. I'd have to go back in yesterday's video and see. Colleen was the same one. They did on the same day. September 29th, Torres was working and was called over by a valet to help a guest. Upon walking over, Torres recognized guest to be Paddock and possibly shook his hand, possibly. Whatever. Paddock requested Torres take him upstairs. Really now? Well, how's that party going? Torres stated he would request a bellman to help. During this encounter, Paddock was alone and had luggage items on a cart. Torres escorted Paddock to the service elevator where he believed to have met bellman Jorge Morales. That's kind of strange. That is kind of strange. Let's see. Torres stated he would. What? Upon walking over, Torres recognized guest Paddock, possibly shook his hand. Okay, well, let's read the rest of it. Damn. Throughout the investigation, detectives were not able to corroborate Torres' story. None of the surveillance videos showed the interaction between Paddock and Torres. Evidence shows. What the fuck, people? Jeez, hired editor. What the fuck? Evidence shows Paddock arriving at the Mandalay Bay Valet September 28th, approximately 21:46 hours, not leaving the property until September 30th at 1 in the morning. Detectives were able to identify Jorge as bellman Jorge Morales. Jorge Morales. Okay, so I think we have an actual statement from Jorge Morales. Let's see. So this is Torres. This is Philip Torres. Let's see what Jorge Morales, what date that was on. What day Jorge Morales says he was dealt with Paddock. Let's see. This is Shuck. Miguel Sandy. Oh man, lagging again. There's Morales. Wow. Yeah, I'm having internet issues tonight. Really bad. All right, but it looks like we're back. So, Jorge Morales. All right. So let's see what Morales said. October 6th. Yeah, I don't care. On September 25th, Morales was working. This interview was done after the other dude. All right. So, 25th, he ran into Paddock on the 25th, it looks like. Um, that was the day he dealt with him. All right. So, that's what we got there. Let's see if I can find where I left off. That's above all the detective shit. It's Bitsko. So it was Torres. I gotta find Torres. Yeah, okay, Torres. All right, so it is possible that instead of September 26th, he has his days wrong, and that is actually the 25th. But then again, I have to go back and I guess see if anyone else had anything to do. I'm not too worried about this. I really don't care about these guys' stories because they don't really give you much anyway. As far as even if this guy's lying or even if he's wrong or he just doesn't remember, it doesn't really matter because he has nothing really to say. Um, I guess other than saying that Paddock was very pleasant, that's something. But that wasn't on 29th, so it doesn't really matter if he's wrong about 29th or not. So yeah, not too worried about that. Although this September 28th to September 30th, refuting the timeline, that would be huge. But there's no way to really tell whether this guy's right or wrong about that at this point. So not too worried about that. George Umstadt, security manager, October 12th, at approximately, wow, they waited a while to get to this guy. Approximately, what is this, 3:44, Detective Hodson conducted an audio recorded interview with George Umstadt inside the Mandalay Bay. Also present for the interview was an FBI special agent. Oh, he got an FBI agent. I don't know why. I don't know why some of these guys get an FBI agent and some don't. It's interesting. And Mandalay Bay Representative Dana Howell. Okay, so we got a couple different people here from Mandalay Bay. I wonder which one's the VP of what do they call it? The VP of I don't know, legal department basically is one of the people that's in a lot of these reports. Below is a summary of the interview. Umstadt stated he works at Mandalay Bay as an assistant security manager and is armed while working in this capacity. On the night of October 1st, he was with security managers Michael Oldkey and Anthony Sottle, with two females that were being trespassed in the security office when Officer Hendricks. Oh yeah, and I found out where they called them hookers. That was Ellsbury's statement. Said they called them hookers. He didn't, but he said that the officers did. Officers Hendricks and Varson arrived to issue citations to the females. Yeah, All right. He heard there was a mass shooting at the festival over Hendricks police radio. They initially planned to respond to the corner of Mandalay Bay Road and Las Vegas Boulevard. Oh, man. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I was screwed up yesterday. Shoot. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I messed that up. Yeah, so the original call, there was a shooting at the Route 91. That would have been Hendrix's radio, I believe. And then it would have been the call for Campos on the securities radio that got him up 30 seconds. Okay. I don't know why I had that all messed up yesterday. It still kind of messes with my head because there's a lot of weird people saying different things. As they walked through the casino, heard a radio broadcast that security officer Campos was shot in the leg with a pellet gun on the 32nd floor. Yeah, see, I had a huge problem with that yesterday. The police radio, but yeah, I think it was if I remember right. Yeah, Hendricks heard the thing over the. But see, for some reason, I had this all screwed up with this Campos being shot. That being over security's radio. For some reason, I had them both on the same channel or same radio. I was all messed up. My bad. Security managers, along with officers Hendricks and Barson, responded to the guest elevators. While in the elevator, they heard information on their radios in reference to the shooter being on the 31st floor. See, that I have a problem with because that's not what I heard. I mean, I guess, but even Allsbury's statement says that they got off on the 31st floor so they could use the stairwell to get up to the 32nd floor. And that matches up with, that matches up with what we see on the video, more or less, at least from what I can make out from what they're saying. Let's see. As they walked up the 100 wing of the 31st floor, they heard gunshots coming from the floor above them. As they approached the stairwell, they could still hear gunshots coming from the 32nd floor. According to Umstott, there were also reports of other shooters on the 62nd and 29th floors. Umstott responded to the 29th floor while everyone else stayed stacked inside the stairwell. Wow. So they let this guy go all by himself to the 29th floor. That's crazy. That's a little crazy. But, well, did he though? I guess he could have. Oh, my God. I'm trying to think. Because, that would have been after the shooting, I think. Because he was in that, to my knowledge, this dude, if I'm right, this dude was with Varson Hendricks on the video in that hallway, and they didn't go into the stairwell until after the shooting was over. So that means he would have checked the 29th floor after the shooting was done. But still, that's ballsy, man. He went by himself. I'm sorry. Quickly cleared the 29th floor, dude, by himself. What? Returned to the stairwell, rejoined the group. Yeah, because we do see him later in Bitsko's. But damn, this guy's ballsy, man. This guy's Rambo, dude. Several of the LVMPD officers arrived in the stairwell, and eventually the stairwell door was breached. Umstott never went any further and returned to the casino floor. Dude, this guy, fuck, man, give him a reward. This guy's ballsy, man. He went and cleared the 29th floor all by himself. Took 4 cops to do that later. And all he had was a pistol. This guy's ballsy. The investigation revealed there were no other shooters on 29th or 62nd floor. Oh, 62nd. Wow, 62nd floor. 62nd floor is where Shuck was. That's where Shuck was. So I wonder if there's some miscommunication as far as Shuck goes. Someone said something about Shuck being on the 62nd floor, or Shuck said something over the radio. It came from the 62nd floor, and they're shooting down here or something of that nature. I don't know. That's kind of nutty. That's crazy. That it happened to be the same floor. Huh. Let's see. So food, sir. And again, 62nd floor, for some reason, man, I want to say that is not where there's regular rooms, but I can't prove that, man. Because like I said, I stayed at the place, but I don't know what was above me. It looked like there's nothing, as far as rooms above me. I didn't see any fucking windows. It's like a ledge up there. Oh, whatever. October 3rd. Okay. This one they got to pretty quick. At approximately, what is this? I wonder if, like, the reason this happened was it was lackadaisical. And someone like this dude took a week off. He just said, fuck it, I'm out. Taking vacation, dude. I'm stressed out. I ain't doing this. And, and the reason it took so long to actually get to some of these statements is because of people's days off and their schedules and all that sort of stuff. And the police didn't care enough to actually go over their house or do anything like that. Just waited for them to show back up. I mean, of course, the police could have been booked up with everybody that was working, but I'm just wondering here, man, because it seems kind of strange that you would have this food server, which is not really going to matter all that much compared to that last guy, who really, his statement should have been very important. On October 3rd, approximately 10:28, DeAngelis, of course, so we're not going to have this fucking person because this guy burned all the evidence after he fucking allegedly. Now, so they have it. Everything this guy touched, it didn't show up. So he conducted an audio recorded interview with Shun Jackie Zhang inside the Mandalay Bay. Dude's got a cool ass name. Also present for the interview was Detectives Downing and Wilson. Usually Downing's pretty good, but I don't know. Below is a summary of the interview. Zhang has been employed by the Mandalay Bay for almost 19 years as a food server in the noodle shop. Oh, this fucking person. Man. On September 30th, Paddock went to the noodle shop and sat in Zhang's section. Zhang recalled that Paddock was alone at the table. He ordered 2 entrees and ate both of them. Wow. But, well, okay. It's, who knows what the entrees were. Paddock was quiet and did not talk to anyone. Stu could eat. The interesting thing about this, which is strange, is we have nothing down below this saying this didn't happen. But they're saying this happened on September 30th. So I'm going to have to go back and look back at September 30th and see if there's actually a time frame there where this could have been possible. Zhang called Paddock was alone at the table. You ordered 2 entrees, ate both of them. Paddock was quiet, did not talk to anyone. Okay. All right. So maybe he did go to the noodle shop. I thought the other noodle shop thing was, I could be wrong. I think the other one said it was on a different day, though. But, yeah, they don't refute this, which is interesting. I thought the other lady said it was on the 25th. I think she said it was on the 25th, if I remember right. Could have had her day screwed up. And this could be legit. But it's interesting that they omitted that from the timeline above, and they put this in here. So this was all, I guess, kind of, what wasn't cut and paste from the preliminary. This was all kind of put together, at the same time. I would think they would have included this in the timeline above, but, I guess screw it. Who cares, right? It's, I guess, just wasn't that important. On October 3rd, okay. Detective Leavitt conducted an audio recorded interview with Sergeant Bitsko at LVMPD headquarters. Also present for the interview was PMSA attorney Tara Roberts. I can't remember what that stands for. I think that's the union. I used to know what their union was. I don't know. Whatever. Below the summary of the interview. October 1st, Sergeant Bitsko was conducting squad training at the Moon Valley Nursery. Really? Okay. That's an interesting place to do training. In Eastern and I-215 Beltway. He heard a radio traffic broadcast on the CCAG radio channel and realized they had an active shooter situation. He immediately responded towards Las Vegas Boulevard, drove to the Mandalay Bay, parked near the entrance of Shark Reef. Yeah, I know. Watch the video. Sergeant Bitsko donned his heavy tactical gear, deployed a rifle and a ballistic shield. Well, his buddy deployed a ballistic shield, but all right, whatever. A detective arrived shortly after, and Sergeant Bitsko handed the ballistic shield to him. Okay, there we go. Sergeant Bitsko, I thought the other guy had, oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. Sergeant Bitsko, Officer Newton, and several plainclothes detectives formulated a strike team and entered the Mandalay Bay through Shark Reef. They cleared the area as they moved from Shark Reef to the guest elevators. By cleared the area, they just yelled at everybody. Go that way. Go that way. Go north. Or was it south? I don't remember. Whatever. His team exited the elevator on the 20th floor, took the stairwell to the 29th floor. After they cleared the 29th floor, he used the stairwell to move up the 32nd floor and joined with SWAT Officer Hancock and others. I thought 28th floor, 29th. I thought they did the 30th also. Or was it 31st? No, I thought they did I thought they skipped the 29th, went to the 30th, but I don't know. He may just not remember. I don't even know if I remember. Because I was so confused and just watching him go up and down hallways. That's a super exciting video at the beginning. They pried open the stairwell door to enter the 32nd floor hallway, which was secured from the inside. He observed a room service cart in the hallway. He also observed wires and an object on the cart. They moved into the hallway with Officer Hancock to place an explosive breach on the door. He observed a camera on the cart and placed a plate on top of the camera to conceal their movements. They moved into the hallway with Officer Hancock. Oh, Levi. God, I just want to say Levi every time. Man, I'm tired. The door to room 32135 was breached. Sergeant Bitsko, SWAT Officer Hancock, and other officers moved into the room and cleared it. He observed several AR-style rifles. AR-style rifles. What is an AR? And a male lying on the ground with a gunshot wound to the head. He also observed a small silver revolver with blood on it near the male's head. Sergeant Bitsko also assisted in breaching the connecting door to room 32134 and cleared it. No, he didn't clear it, but all right. Yeah, that's cool. What do you want to say, bro? William Matchko. October 3rd. Oh my God, these are all going to be the fucking same. I hate reading these things. On October 3rd, approximately, who cares? Detective Jex. Wow, Jex was doing regular witnesses. Huh. As opposed to just, conducted an audio recorded interview with Sergeant Matchko of the at LVMPD headquarters. Let's see. Also present for the interview was the attorney, Jay Roberts. Below is a summary of the interview. Sergeant Matchko was on his regular scheduled day off. However, he had come into work to assist detectives with the service of a search warrant. While his team prepared to serve the warrant, Sergeant Matchko heard the radio broadcast of an active shooter. He also heard gunfire in the background. Sergeant Matchko left the search warrant scene and proceeded towards Mandalay Bay. Oh. I don't remember. Anyway, who cares? Sergeant Matchko arrived at the Mandalay Bay and entered the hotel, where he asked a security officer to get him up to the elevators. He heard several different reports about where the shooting was coming from, to include the 28th, 29th, 32nd floors. As he reached, what is up with the 29th, dude? Why did they think they were shooting at the 29th floor? What is that about? Who generated that? Where did that come from? As he reached the elevators, officers were already on it, preparing to go up. Sergeant Matchko stepped onto the elevator and asked to be taken to where a security officer was shot. The information was conflicting, so he chose to go to the 28th floor. Oh, you guys. Since they would come to it first, and it was a possible location for a shooting. As a group of officers exited the elevator, they did not hear gunfire. They cleared the hallways, observed no commotion, didn't hear gunfire. Sergeant Matchko gathered more information and learned other officers were heading to the 32nd floor. He led the team up the stairwell to the 32nd floor. As they exited the stairwell, they made their way down the hallway. He observed other. Wait, what do you mean? Um, headed. Learned other. He led a team up the stairwell to the 32nd floor. So this must be a stairwell in another wing because no. As they exited the stairwell, they made their way down the hallway. Yeah, no, it doesn't say what wing they were in, or not here. Ah, shit. Oh. All right. He observed other officers near the center core move to their location. Yeah, so he must have been out in another wing. They just didn't say it. He told officers to evacuate the guest rooms and move all citizens to safety as the group moved up the hallway. Sergeant Matchko observed a food service cart near the suite where he was told the shooting was coming from. He was concerned about the cart, believed it looked out of place, and thought that it may be a trap or an IED. As he was focused on the cart, SWAT Officer Hancock arrived. Sergeant Matchko directed SWAT Officer Hancock to go back down. He directed him. I don't know, man. Levi does not seem like the kind of guy to take orders like that. He directed. I think he told him it would be a good idea for him to go back down a floor and use a stairwell that would place him near the suite door. Sergeant Matchko was in communication with Sergeant Bitsko, who was also in the stairwell, and SWAT Officer Hancock. Okay. Communication with what? Dude, you're just with the guy. What do you mean you're in communication with him? Knowing the plan to use an explosive breach, Sergeant Matchko prepared the officers with him on their roles and what to do if citizens exited the rooms. So he gave a training session. He's up there giving a training session. All right. All right. This is what we do when this happens. So when they breach a room, what you guys need to do. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy. And I'm sure that's how he made himself sound, epic in his statement for this, which I think we're going to get to eventually. Let's see, and what to do if citizens exited their rooms due to fire alarms or the sprinkler system activating after the breach. When the explosive breach detonated, yeah, but he sat there with the guy on the floor for, whatever. When the explosive breach detonated, several citizens exited their rooms and were immediately escorted by officers to the center court. Sergeant Matchko observed the group. Really? Whatever, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how accurate that is. I guess. Um, you know what? Yeah, because I haven't been watching. Yeah, I did watch their cams. I remember. Yeah, there's one guy that came out. Lots of gunfire. Yeah, I don't remember several. Yeah, this guy's. I don't know. Not liking this guy. Sergeant Matchko observed the group of officers exit the stairwell, make entry of the room. He heard the broadcast. He heard them broadcast the suspect was down. Sergeant Matchko believed the suspect took his own life since he did not hear rounds fired after the officers made entry. Sergeant Matchko and his group maintained their position in the hallway as the team cleared room 135 and breached and cleared room 134. As the room was cleared, several other active shooter calls were broadcast over the radio. Sergeant Matchko divided the teams and told the officers to go handle more calls. He received a phone call from Captain Tamino, who ordered him to look in the room for identification of the suspect or suspects. Photographs were taken using a cell phone camera and sent to the command post. So there's that. We know where some of those pictures came from. Let's see, with the help of, I'm guessing this was the famous paddock photo that was being passed around that night. Okay, with help of Detective Zerpis, they rolled the suspect onto his side, which caused blood to flow from his mouth and down the back of his face, uh, down the side of his face. His pockets were checked for photo identification. He was rolled back to his original position. Officers then exited the room and held it for investigators. So I don't. I'm gonna have to. I thought the blood was on the side of his face, but when they did the breach, but I could be wrong. We don't get a very good look in the breach, and I've never really paid attention too much to that. I just remember people arguing the livor mortis thing, so yeah, I don't know. I just know it's really crappy footage. So, anyways, all right, Detective Stephen Balnick, but it's interesting. I mean, that is an actually very interesting uh, part of the statement there. Photographs were taken using a cell phone camera and sent to the command post. So, trying to think what photos that would be other than the one of basically the corpse. Could be a lot of the evidence photos, uh, stuff like that. Maybe some of the photos before the dust settled. Maybe that's why we see a lot of photos of no dust being on the counters, and then later dust being on the counters. Maybe those were the first photos. I don't know. I never really. That was someone else's gig for a while. I never really dealt with that, but just thinking out loud here. Yeah, a lot of these photographs that leaked out could have leaked out through this guy. And this guy, I believe we see um, this guy taking these photos, but the timing is off. Yeah, the timing's off for that because I could be wrong, but it seems to me I remember when before they, I think it was before they breached 134, but I could be fucking wrong. And you had a guy in there taking photos. You saw the flash go off, and it looked like you'd take a photo of Paddock. So not too sure. October 18th at approximately 9:17, Detective Penny conducted an audio recorded interview with Detective Stephen Balanek. Yeah, okay, whatever. On October 1st, wow, I waited a while for this guy, man. Detective, the 18th. Detective Balanek was working overtime at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. He was assigned to, he probably went out stress, man, because he was there. So he was probably out. He was assigned to South, and I mean, he didn't come back for shit 2.5 weeks. He was assigned to the south side of the venue between gates 6 and 7 near Mandalay Bay Road and Las Vegas Boulevard. During the shift, Detective Balnick heard shots being fired. He heard approximately 3 to 4 shots, then additional shots. Detective, let's see. During shift, heard shots being. He heard approximately 3 to 4 shots, then additional shots. I wonder if he knew those were shots at the time. Probably not. Doesn't say anything. Detective Balnick did not see a muzzle flash and believed the shots were coming from within the venue or an elevated position. Detective Balnick retrieved his binoculars and scanned the Mandalay Bay Tower. Approximately 3/4 of the way up the tower on the far north end, Detective Balnick observed a silhouette of a man in a shooting position. All right. Standing about 4 to 6 feet back from the window. He saw smoke from the gun, but did not see muzzle flashes. So, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. So he observed a silhouette of a man in shooting position. What the hell is a shooting position? Because now, then it says standing about 4 to 6 feet back from the window, which is about what I expect from this. Is about that far back. He saw smoke from the gun, but did not see muzzle flashes. Okay, so there's no muzzle flashes. What happened to the muzzle flashes? If this guy's legit, which we don't see. I've never seen this guy in any of the videos, so I'm not even sure. But if he didn't see muzzle flashes, well, there probably weren't. The muzzle flash is probably so dim that I'm not going to see it. Detective Balnick heard the suspect, Paddock, was shooting into the venue, so he directed citizens to move east. Detective Balnick encountered several victims with gunshot wounds and provided first aid. He directed those victims towards a mobile command vehicle where he knew there was medical personnel. During the gunfire, Detective Balnick stated the sound kept changing, and he thought it could be coming. It could be from multiple shooters. We've got a multiple shooter guy. After the shooting stopped, Detective Balnick took up a tactical position, stopped traffic, and remained on post until being relieved. He got put down as a traffic cop. Multiple shooters. Yeah, I mean, this guy's probably never been shot at like that. Probably not a military guy. Because again, I mean, this isn't for me, this is for whoever's listening to this, but honestly, whenever I hear this thing about multiple shooters, because the gunfire sounded differently, the gunfire is going to sound a bit different because as the sonic cracks get closer or get further from you, the sound is going to change dramatically. And this guy was spraying and praying, so he was not, the spread on that gun had to be massive. For the most part. So yeah, I don't put a whole hell of a lot into, a lot of the multiple shooter stuff. Let's see, Detective Casey Clarkson, unless somebody can come up with something solid other than just people saying, "Oh, the gunfire just sounded different, sounded closer." Well, yeah, it sounds closer because the bullets are fucking hitting closer to you. It's pretty fucking simple. Well, all right. I'll take that back. I'll stop being insensitive and fucked up. But the thing is, in the beginning of all this, we didn't know. Nobody knew. Nobody knew what the hell sonic crack was. The again, I always say the health ranger brought that to our attention. If it wasn't for him, who knows if anybody would have brought that to our attention? And I'm sure somebody eventually would have figured it out. But but at the time this was happening, these people don't know what this is. I mean, there's people 3 years later, and I say this every time, man, almost 4 years later now, that still don't understand what the hell a sonic crack is and what the difference is between a muzzle blast and a sonic crack, because there is a difference. And, people that were in the moment that night, including police, had no idea what that was. I said 4 years later, still people don't fucking get it. And it's been explained a million times. So yeah, I mean, I just don't put anything into the multiple shooter thing unless there is something out there other than somebody saying the bullets are getting closer. That unless something else comes out, man, I don't see it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything that even remotely looks like a second shooter from anywhere else. In fact, doesn't look like there's a shooter from anywhere but the Mandalay Bay. And I mean, we got plenty of evidence, so I have issues with that. I just don't believe any of that. I don't believe I believe they're hiding something. I believe they're definitely hiding something within this. I don't believe that this report is complete. There's a lot missing from it. And I don't believe that it has to do with the second shooter. I just don't. As far as, did he have help? Did he have someone else there with him? Did he have an accomplice? I mean, they say, single shooter, no accomplices. But, did he have somebody else there? Then I think that's a possibility. I think it's a strong possibility, actually. I think it's probable that he, at some point within his stay there, he had company. But I don't believe at this point, I haven't seen anything to point to that company doing anything as far as shooting that night. Now, doing other things, yeah, it's possible. It's possible, when people say he was calling other, the accomplice could have been calling other hotels, freaking everybody out, could have been, driving around the concert, shooting a gun in the air at other hotels. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities as far as that goes. But as far as somebody shooting people at the Route 91, I've never seen anything but evidence to show that there was shooting from the Mandalay Bay into the concert venue. That's it. You know, nobody's ever been able to come up with anything that substantial that could explain anything other than that. On October 5th, approximately, and I know it pisses people off, but I don't care. Detective Penny conducted an audio recorded interview with Detective Clarkson, LVMPD headquarters. Also present for the interview was Las Vegas Police Protective Association Representative Yant. Oh, what is this other fucking thing up here then? Because that is their, that's their union. Huh. Check it out. Below is a summary of the interview. When did he do this? October 5th. Okay, so this guy came back to work. Detective Clarkson was working overtime the Route 91 Harvest Music, and he was there. Holy shit. He was partnered with Detective Brosnahan. Detectives Clarkson and Brosnahan were directed to Las Vegas Boulevard to assist with an intoxicated female. Oh, what the hell, man? Everybody's intoxicated that night. You kidding me? Afterward, they remained in the area of Las Vegas Boulevard, Mandalay Bay Road. What? I thought you were working overtime through Route 91. Why were you dealing with other things outside? And why does it say you remained in the area? Because, of course, you did. You were working there. That was your job. Detective Clarkson heard possible gunfire. He heard reports of multiple casualties over the radio. Detective Clarkson and Brosnahan moved behind a pony wall and looked for the gunman. They moved toward patrol cars parked near them with intent to get to the Mandalay Bay. Well, they moved towards patrol cars and prisoner transport van. Two civilians attempted to join their group. While addressing the civilians, they received direct gunfire. Detective Clarkson and a civilian moved behind the prisoner transport van for cover, but realized it wasn't enough. Around this time, Detective Clarkson felt something strike his neck. Oh, so he was behind the van? I don't think I ever realized that. So it went through the van? Damn. Detective Clarkson. Wow. That's okay. Detective Clarkson stayed behind cover and shielded Detective Brosnahan as the gunfire continued. He observed bullets impacting closer to the patrol vehicles and knew the shots were coming from an elevated position. Detective Clarkson and Brosnahan, along with several other officers, moved from the patrol vehicles to behind the block wall, where several civilians were found hiding. Civilians were pushed closer to the walls. Officers shielded them with their bodies. All right. While behind the wall, Detective Clarkson was told he was bleeding. Detective Brosnahan applied direct pressure. Lagged out a little bit there. After having his neck bandaged, Detectives Clarkson and Brosnahan escorted civilians away from the street and through the venue. And I don't even know enough about the story because I never really cared. I mean, I mean, it sucks this guy got hit, but I never really paid attention to him in the videos too much. I remember him, them screaming, people getting hit and stuff like that. But I never really cared, all that much about this particular one. And he was okay anyway. He made it. So, Detective Clarkson. Wait. October 5th. So, So he came in on disability. Detective Clarkson was told, yeah. So he came in. He was disabled. He's probably off on disability, man. He just got shot. So I'm guessing he came on disability on his day off. After having his neck bandaged, Detective Clarkson and Brosnahan escorted civilians away from the street and through the venue. Detectives Clarkson and Brosnahan made their way to the medical tent, found several people who were critically injured. Ambulances couldn't get to the scene, so Detective Brosnahan left to retrieve Detective Clarkson's police vehicle. Detective Clarkson moved several wounded civilians to the sidewalk to prepare for transport. When Detective Brosnahan arrived, they loaded several critically injured patients into their vehicle and drove to Valley Hospital. After hearing University Medical Center was full. Okay, so Valley was the backup. All right. Upon arrival at Valley Hospital, Detective Clarkson and the wounded civilians received medical treatment. After being discharged, Detective Clarkson returned to the command post. What? They just went back to work? Maybe he didn't go out on injury. I don't know. Huh. I guess he wasn't hurt that bad. All right, cool. Just got a little graze. A little bit of a burn. October 3rd, approximately 6:20, Detective Flontz conducted an audio recorded interview with Detective Donaldson at the LVMPD headquarters. Also present for the interview was Detective Schlementi and, the union representative. Below is a summary of the statement. Detective Donaldson was at LVMB headquarters. His sergeant came into the office, informed the squad of an active shooter call. The squad responded to the Manly Bay. Detective Donaldson was with Detective Walford, and they entered the Manly Bay near Shark Reef. Once inside, they met SWAT Officer Hancock. We do have, again, this is going to be another kind of repeat. From information being broadcast, they believe the shooting was coming from the 32nd floor of the hotel. See, they knew. Fuck, they know. Nobody else did. When they got to the 32nd floor, they observed officers positioned in the hallway leading to the suite where they believed the shooting was coming from. SWAT Officer Hancock led Detective Donaldson. Oh, is this the guy? Is this the dude that he yelled at him, "Come with me"? And the other guy said something like, "I'm the lieutenant here." He said, "I don't give a shit right now. You're coming with me." Several other officers down the 31st floor. They gained access to the stairwell that would lead them adjacent to the suite where the shooting was. When they reached the stairwell, they found the officers at the stairwell door to the 32nd floor. Officer Hancock placed a breaching charge on the door and to the suite and breached the door. The door did not completely come off its hinges, but they were able to see rifles on the floor. Yeah, it kind of did come off the hinges. It just didn't come off the little thing at the top there that kind of acts as a spring. I believe it's like a hydraulic piston kind of thing. But they were able to see rifles on the floor inside the room. Detective Donaldson made entry with the group into the suite and cleared the room. He observed what he believed to be 25 to 30 scattered rifles across the room. He observed what appeared to be a deceased white male laying on his back. There was a closed door that led to an adjoining room, which was also breached and cleared. Once the suite and connecting room was cleared, he began doing welfare checks on the floor. Of course, I'm from California, so welfare checks means something completely different. Detective Steven Zerpis, and they're not given out by cops. On October 3rd at approximately 5:55, Detective Quinteros conducted an audio recorded interview with Detective Zerpis at LVMPD headquarters. Also present for the interview was Detective Ubens, and the representative, union rep. Different union rep, though. Different one. Below is a summary of the interview. Detective Zerpis was assigned to South Central Area Command. I wonder if these were all being done in different rooms, like at the same time. Assigned to South Central Area Command Patrol Detective Squad, and was at the office when he heard the possible active shooter at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival broadcast over the radio. Detective Zerpis and his squad left the office, put on their tactical gear, and headed to the Manly Bay. Based on information from the radio, they believe the active shooter was inside the hotel. They arrived at the hotel from the south side at the Shark Reef entrance, where they joined Sergeant Bitsko, Officer Newton. Okay, it's these guys. Detective Zerpis was given a shield. Okay, he's the guy with a shield. All right, cool. Beer's on me. And he entered the Shark Reef. The team moved to the elevator bank and had hotel security unlock an elevator and take them up to the tower. As the team prepared to take the elevator up, they were joined by another team led by Sergeant Matchko. The information being received by the team was conflicting on where the shooting was coming from. Sergeant Bitsko decided to exit on the 28th floor, clear it, and move up the stairwell. Sergeant Matchko's team would continue up the 29th floor. When the team cleared the 28th floor, moved up, clearing the floors until they reached the 30th floor. When they reached the 30th floor, they joined another team, which was also clearing the floor. The group then moved up to the 31st floor together, where they were met by SWAT Officer Hancock. I thought he met him in the stairwell, but yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. So it does say they cleared the 30th floor on this one. So yeah, this would be the team that ran into the 30th floor would be where that open door was. Anyway, the group moved up the hallway, and that led them to the stairwell adjacent to the suite, where SWAT officer Hancock believed the shooting was coming from. They entered the stairwell and found another group of security officers and uniformed patrol officers posted on the door to the 32nd floor. The door to access the 32nd floor was bolted shut, and SWAT officer Hancock used a tool to pry it open. A quick peek was done into the hall, and they observed bullet holes in the door. SWAT officer Hancock breached the door to room 32135, and a group of officers made entry to clear the room. As Detective Zerpis moved into the suite, he observed what he believed to be the suspect down on the ground. After the main God, I can't speak English tonight. After the main suite was cleared, a breach was used to access the connecting room, and Detective Zerpis heard 2 gunshots but did not know who fired them. When entry was made into the second room, it was cleared and found to be unoccupied. The shots Detective Zerpis heard was the unintentional discharge by SWAT officer O'Donnell. Again, I don't know if I believe that completely, but all right, yeah, it's cool. Cool story, bro. Detective Blake Walford. I'm farming. Yeah, I got a couple more I can do. On October 3rd, approximately 7 o'clock, whatever, who cares? Detective Plontz conducted an audio recorded interview with Detective Walford. Also present for the interview was Detective Sclementi and the representative, which, yeah, it's like a different guy every time. I don't know. I guess they just kind of do rotating chairs for representatives of their union. Below is a summary of the interview. Whoever sits in that chair is a representative for the interview. Detective Walford was assigned temporary duty to gang crimes and was at their office located at LVMPD headquarters. The sergeant came into the office and informed the squad of an active shooter call. The squad responded to the Manly Bay. Detective Walford was with Detective Donaldson and made entry in the Manly Bay from the Beach Club entrance. Once inside, they made their way. Beach Club entrance. I'm trying to think which one that is. I think I know which one that is. I think that's where the Uber pickup is. Once inside, they made their way to the hotel lobby where they met SWAT officer Hancock. They were briefed. The suspect was on 32nd floor and had shot a security officer as they reached 32nd floor. So they were told, they were briefed, the suspect was on 32nd floor and had shot a security officer as they reached the 32nd floor. So are they on the floor? Are they on the ground? Made their way to the hotel lobby. Were they in the lobby when this happened? When they were briefed on Campos being shot? That would make sense with that Australian guy. He could have overheard something like this and said that's and lied about staying on the 32nd floor. He could have been in the lobby, overheard security guard was shot on the 32nd floor, decided to get his 10 seconds of fame, call some Australian, news organization, whatever, get on the news, saying he was staying on that floor and saw a security guard that got shot. That's possible. This could be how he learned about that so quickly. Just thinking. As they reached the 32nd floor, he observed officers in the hallway that led to the suite. SWAT officer Hancock took Detective Walford and others with him back to the 31st floor in order to access a stairwell that would put them next to the suite where they believed the suspect was located. When they ascended the stairwell that would put them adjacent to the suite, they removed the light so that when they opened the door, they would not be backlit. They discovered the door that leads into the hall had been secured shut. The officers used a tool SWAT officer Hancock carried with him to pry the door open. SWAT officer Hancock placed an explosive charge on the door to room 135 and breached it. And let's see. Okay, so a group of officers from the stairwell entered the suite When Detective Walford entered, he observed rifles in the room and a deceased male on the floor. SWAT Officer Hancock used another explosive breach to open the connecting door to room 134. As the door was breached, Detective Walford heard two to three rounds fired from one of the officers in the stack. They entered the connecting room where he observed more rifles. The shots Detective Walford heard was the unintentional discharge by SWAT Officer O'Donnell. Okay. Again, not sure I really completely believe that, but yeah, all right. I don't know. On October 3rd, again, October 3rd, approximately almost 5 o'clock, Detectives Clementi and Plontz conducted an audio recorded interview with Officer Benitsky. God, why do they all have weird names, man? Also present for the interview, couldn't they be Smith, man? Representative Ramirez. What the fuck? Is that Todd? Because you had Todd up there. Now it's Ramirez. They just like are rotating names. They got like a book of like baby names or something. You name your fucking kids, and they're just like, going through them, saying these are the representatives. Below is a summary of the interview. I don't know. It's stupid. I don't know. It's weird. They have like a million representatives for this union. It's nuts. Let's see. Officer Benitsky was working as a uniformed patrol officer in the Enterprise Area Command. Enterprise Area, huh? All right. I didn't know that's what EAC stood for. I thought it was East Area. Officer Benitsky was on a domestic disturbance call with Officer Teal. Officer Benitsky heard from Officer Teal there was an active shooter in Manly Bay. Officer Benitsky called a sergeant and advised he was responding to the active shooter call. Officer Benitsky arrived near Russell Road and Las Vegas Boulevard. Officer Benitsky donned his tactical gear, which included his rifle and helmet. Officer Benitsky ran down Las Vegas Boulevard to Mandalay Bay near the convention entrance. Officer Benitsky entered and ran through the casino toward the main part of the hotel. Officer Benitsky met up with other officers, including SWAT Officer Hancock, by the elevators and learned the suspect is on 32nd floor. Oh, this is that clusterfuck in the elevators. Yeah, the amazing mess that happened down at the elevators. Officer Benitsky and additional officers took the elevator to the 32nd floor and exited the elevator. Officer Benitsky looked up the hallway and observed bullet holes through the suspect's room door. Wow, dude, you could see that? Damn, dude, you got good eyes. You got good eyes, man. Dude. I don't know if I believe that, but yeah, okay. Along with blood on the floor from security officer being shot. What? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm sure there's like little droplets or something, kind of chilling there in the center core or something. That might be what they're talking about. They're making it sound like fucking like a river of blood here, man. That didn't happen. SWAT Officer Hancock arrived at plan to go back to the 31st floor and use stairwell to make it back up to the 32nd floor. Officer Hancock derived the plan. And up here, this other guy's saying, "Oh, that was all my idea." Whatever. That guy was a sergeant. I don't know if Hancock's sergeant or not. But yeah, glory hounds. Let's see. Use stairwell to make it back to the 32nd floor near Paddock's room. I actually believe this more. After utilizing the stairwell, Officer Benitsky posted the stairwell door that led into this 32nd floor. Where'd you post it? It's stupid. That's just written bad. Okay. Officer Benitsky heard SWAT Officer Hancock called SWAT lieutenant and tell him what? Okay. I'm sorry, man. Just the grammar on this is just killing my brain. Officer Benitsky heard it's hard enough to talk, dude, let alone read something that's not in English. Officer Benitsky heard SWAT Officer Hancock call the SWAT lieutenant and tell him, "Oh no, it is okay. It's correct," and tell him they were, like I said, I'm tired. Going to breach the door to room 135. SWAT Officer Hancock breached the door, and officers entered the room. Officer Benitsky posted near the stairwell. See, posted near. As opposed to posting it. He didn't post the door this time. Posted near the stairwell, covering the door of the adjoining room 1 through 4. Officer Beninsky heard yelling from inside the room and information about cameras and wires being in the room. All right. Officer Vinitsky continued covering the adjoining room and heard another breach along with a 3-round burst. Shot Benitsky, I love how they have to keep putting this. They have to keep explaining this. The shots Officer Benitsky heard was the unintentional discharge by SWAT Officer O'Donnell. They just have to keep adding that. They just had to. I guess this is the internal, whatever they call this, the fit team or whatever the fuck. That's their job, but still, they just, I don't know. We get it already. Officer Benitsky entered room 1 through 5 and took approximately 5 steps inside. Officer Benitsky observed guns scattered in the room and the main window broken. Oh, shit. Broken window. What? Let's see. Officer Benitsky heard SWAT Officer Hancock tell everyone, get out of the room and secure the scene. Officer Benitsky backed out of the room and left the area. Officer Benitsky left the casino and met with fire department personnel. Outside Maley Bay, Officer Benitsky spent the rest of the night searching for victims in the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival and clearing other casinos for possible active shooters. All right, whoops. And let's see. So that's, okay. That's where we're at. I just want to see how far down this goes. How much more I got? Yeah, I got quite a bit more. So I think I'm going to cut it off there because, man, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm starting to slip here. So Brady Cook. Next one's Brady Cook. All right. Anyway, yeah, we hit an hour, so we're good. All right. Well, as always, stay safe out there. To anybody listening.